And when pegboard just won't cut it, do what I did. Try a block of wood. Hey everyone, this is John with Just a Nazarene Leather Company. Let's talk shop. At some point in your leatherworking, you're going to have to find a solution for storing your small punches and chisels and knives, things that tend to roll around on the workbench and that come in sets. So my original thought to store these things was on pegboard. In fact, I got a whole cabinet made with pegboard and it works great for a lot of my larger tools. However, there are limitations with some of the pegboard options for holding some of your items, all right? For example, with these corner knives, all right, this little pegboard round will do a really good job of holding that. However, if I want to store my complete set of corner knives on the pegboard, this is not going to do a good job of holding this one. In fact, it's going to fall straight through. So I either have to store part of my set on the pegboard and find a different way to mount and store my other knives and have them in two different places, or I need to come up with another solution. I run into the same problem when I have my punches, all right? They're not going to stay into place with many items on a pegboard. My small stitching chisels, all right, this one would actually work, but it is part of a set. And not all 4 of these chisels will fit in an attachment like this, all right? Specifically these 2. All right, they're going to drop straight through. So I have had to come up with a different solution for organizing my smaller punches and chisels and knives, especially things that come in sets. And here is what I've done. I went on to Etsy and I found a seller who was selling 8 rough cut 3x3x11 inch, right? They're not exact, it's just approximate. Rough cut turning blanks, all right? So you put these on a lathe and then you can carve stuff out of them. And because they were nice blocks and they're all different kinds of wood, I thought it would be a good idea to get those, maybe drill some holes in them and have a nice display for my tools. So I've got a link in the description of the set that I bought. It's not my Etsy shop. I don't get anything from it. It's not an affiliate link. It's just what I use. So I have not used all of the blocks yet, but there are a few of them that I've turned into holders for different tools. In fact, specifically for the tools that you saw pictured at the beginning of the video. So first, for all of my Weaver corner knives, here's one of the blocks of wood that I have sanded. I've put a handle on the side, drilled holes in, that all of these knives, my complete set that I've got, can all fit in this block. This sits on a shelf actually behind me with the handle sticking out so that I can grab this and carry this. I can put my hand through it and it all sits nicely on the bench. Okay, as of right now it doesn't sit quite flush because my handle dips down below, but it works well on the shelf and it keeps them in place on the bench. So I've got this one. I have no idea what type of wood this is, but it's beautiful. I love the grain on here. And it came in the set of wood turning blanks that I got. So that's one of them. Another one is for my punches. So this is like a deep purple type wood. I got corresponding leather handle, like an oxblood colored handle there, different holes that are drilled down. And in the bottom of these holes, I actually punched out felt. So I got some really thick felt of the appropriate size and put them in there. So if I didn't have the felt, when I drop these in, you would hear it hitting against wood. But with the felt, you know, it kind of pads the metal from taking any more damage than they've already taken just from clinging around and such. So that's the one that I've got for my punches. And then for all of my stitching chisels, there's yet another block of wood with kind of a golden brown handle. This is cherry, all right? I know that because it smelled like cherry when I was drilling this out. So got a bunch of different holes drilled, and all 5 of my stitching chisel sets are contained in this block. Okay, so I don't have to worry about losing them. I can grab all of my stuff at once, set it on my workbench, and I have access to everything that I need. I can clearly see every size of corner knife, of punches that I've got. So this is especially useful when I am prototyping something or trying to come up with a new pattern. I'm just experimenting, playing around. I may not know exactly what size corner knife I need, or I might need multiple sizes. Same with the punches or the stitching chisels. All right, I may want to experiment with a few things, and so it's nice to have all my options laid out in front of me in an organized way, and one that I think looks good. So another way that I can use these blocks, and that I have used these blocks, is I can use them for specific jobs. These are most of the hand tools and some of the supplies, including some die, that I need to finish a belt. All right, I need to finish one of my belts. So I've got various punches here. These are more of my Weaver master tools. Bevelers, a couple different sizes, scratch awl, a couple different size punches, a burnisher, got my English point punch, I've got an oblong here, and so this is specific to a job. All right, I've got different places to put these items. These go on my pegboard. I showed you the block for these punches. I have the display plaques that Weaver makes for all the oblong, the round, and the English point. And so when I'm doing a job, I can then take this block and go and grab the different tools that I need, and all of my tools are in one space. They're not on the bench. I don't have to worry about them getting damaged or rolling away, rolling off. All right, that could be a lot of trouble. And that way everything is here. So I actually take this block to shows with me because I finish out my belts at shows. That gives people a reason to kind of stay in my booth and see what's going on. And that way they know they get a custom length, custom fitting belt made right in front of their eyes. And so my hand tools are used with this block here. Okay. So here's kind of how I did stuff. First, I figured out what tools I wanted in a particular block, okay? And either using some type of ruler, pen, all right, you can mark straight lines and evenly space your holes and make marks on it, and drill your holes first. That's what I would recommend doing. And I didn't use a regular drill bit. I use what are called Forstner bits. All right, this is a Ryobi set that is affordable from your Home Depot. I've got a link in the description for this. It's not an affiliate link. It's just something that I found that works well for me. Okay. This is what I use to drill my holes. They ensure a flat bottom in the hole, and it's a nice clean cut. And so those are what I use. I figure out where I'm going to put my holes first. Like I said, you could do that with lines and a ruler. Or what I did for this one here, a bunch of small holes, I actually punched out of some scrap leather the different size holes that I needed to punch that would fit the handles of these chisels, and I laid these little dots all over the surface and just simply traced around them, put a dot in the center, and that's where I knew to drive all of my holes. So I recommend drilling the holes first. That way, if you make mistakes and you're writing on the wood, all of that will eventually come out in the sanding. Now, because these are rough cut, okay, I use a 40 grit sandpaper first. All right, it really gets all of that rough cut look out of it. If you like the rough cut, by all means keep it. All right, but I really wanted to bring out that wood grain, So I started with a 40 grit, then I went to a 120, and for a couple of these I've even gone up to a 220, just depending on the grain of the wood and how it was feeling after that. And I then coated it in a Danish oil. Okay, I think I got that from Lowe's or Home Depot also, hardware store. So I'll put a link to it. Again, I don't get anything from it, but that's what I used. And it just darkens up the wood, lets that grain just kind of pop. Then I just took some leather, whatever I felt would match the wood, and I cut a 1-inch strip about 8.5 inches long, and I used my round punch so it kind of fits together like a puzzle piece. And then I put 2 screws in the bottom, 2 screws in the top, because I didn't want this to rotate side to side on me. I wanted to keep it as vertical as possible. So just 1-inch wood screws and some washers that I had, and put that into place to make myself a handle. Yeah, I think it turned out well. So everything that I've talked about, I will link in the description below. Get stuff to make a similar thing if that's what you want. If not, hey, it's all right. I just wanted to share. I'll probably do another video on this same topic of me actually showing how I build one of these for the next items that I want to store in a wood block. So be looking for that coming in the future. This has been our first shop talk. The goal of these videos is me just sharing some different things I do in my shop, to where hopefully there would be something there that might pique your interest, that you feel would be a help to you in your shop. So thank you for joining me in the workshop today. I pray that you are blessed. Bye now.